Welcome back, everyone. Conklin and Company continues now with Melissa Miller, Fletcher Word, and London Mitchell running down post-conventions and the race to the White House here. I want to ask you all about who has the disadvantage or the advantage in going second. The Democrats get to watch the Republicans do what they did. And there was the Clint Eastwood situation, many call the debacle. But they had to go first. Major disadvantage, Melissa Miller?
I think it was a bit of a disadvantage because what they did, and I actually think they ran an effective convention. I think there were a number of memorable moments. It was well organized, and they accomplished one of the main goals, which was to really humanize Mitt Romney, portray him, and provide a lot of testimonials about a lot of the good things that he's done. But the problem is that what they did was basically provide a point-by-point, here's our argument against President Obama, so that 1 week later the Democrats could say, okay, here's our response to this charge, here's our response to the second charge and the third charge, and then the Democrats did that so effectively that it really, you know, kind of stopped the Republican momentum in its tracks.
I agree with that, and you know, the timing is one thing, but let's not forget the fact that the Democrats sort of excel at this moment in the art of oration, and they had some terrific speeches there. Even if they had gone first, these speeches would have been hard to top by the Republicans.
I'd have to agree.
But Republicans have said great speeches don't create jobs. That was their line. London, you know, post Clinton, post President Obama speaking.
In both conventions, we seem to be preoccupied with the personalities. Who gave the best speech? Who lit up the stage? Who do we remember? But by golly, there are some issues that I think didn't get addressed, and we're not focused on really looking at the reality of things. For example, I don't think either candidate has the control of our destiny economically. We need to be focused on Europe, and they weren't really talking about Europe. We're not talking about long-range ramifications from the two wars. There are a lot of returning veterans that are going to need a lot of care, and I think those are two issues whoever the next president is going to have to deal with sooner than later. And this idea that either man can take control of the economy and magically wiggle his nose and make things right is a disservice to us if we lead people to believe that.
Well, yeah, and I think that, you know, we've been talking about Clinton. We laid that at his feet there because he laid out the blueprint for a successful campaign in '92 with his, you know, it's the economy stupid mantra. And, you know, ever since then, you know, whenever there's an opportune moment to use that mantra as your campaign guiding force, then you're going to do it. And this is obviously the perfect time for the Romney camp to do that. I'm sure that you know, Obama would like the discussion to be about, you know, Osama bin Laden and the GM revival, but that's not going to happen.
Well, plenty of time was taken up talking about the auto bailout. Brought up a woman from Toledo, her moment in the sun twice this past week, and the taking down of Osama bin Laden. Melissa Miller, you talked about Michelle Obama. You thought she hit a home run. And Romney, by all accounts, good speech too.
I thought she did a great job. She, you know, the fact that she wasn't quite so polished provided some authenticity that I thought had some appeal.
And then she comes into Findlay, Ohio, which is friendly territory, as they all do. And our Bill Horman caught up with Ann Romney, sit-down interview, and here's some of that we aired this past week.
Mrs. Romney, thanks for joining us. You just had a Women for Mitt event, and it seems to be an admission that the Republican Party is having trouble reaching out to women. Is that the perception that you have? Why an event like this?
Well, it's always the case, I think, with presidential politics, is that we don't do as well with women. And this election, I want to remind voters, and especially women voters, that it is a very important election for them because they're the ones that have been hurt most by this economy. The other great thing is that we've had an 8-point bump since the convention, because I think that has been significant as well, because I think people have seen Mitt through a different lens. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And that's the voice that I want to be heard, is the voice of how compassionate this guy is. And how, by the way, you know, he doesn't talk about that stuff. I mean, that's not him. He's a doer. He goes and does. He goes and helps, but he doesn't talk about it. And I think it's been great for women to have seen Mitt in a different perspective, in a different light, and know that he's the guy you can count on, know that he's the guy that has really good real-world solutions to some of their problems. And this is going to be an economic election, and I think women particularly have been hit harder than men by this economy. And if they want to make sure that they have a better job, that they have a more secure future, if they want to make sure that their children are not going to be burdened by debt, then they better think about it.
When we were waiting to come over here, a young girl stopped me and she said, the Romney campaign needs to concentrate and focus on the 20 to 29-year-olds. She said, we are the Obama generation. We voted for Obama and we're disappointed. How do you reach out to a 25-year-old, recently graduated college student who's looking at this election?
I think, and I think that's really important. In my speech that I just gave, I said, look, women need to listen to this message, but also the people that have been hurt the most by this economy have been women and have been college or kids that are 16 even to 25 that can't find work. And this economy has been the toughest on young people and on women. And that's again, Mitt's message is it does not need to be this way. This has been the weakest economic recovery since World War II. And it does not need to be that way. And he really is going to be there. And so for us to keep focusing on jobs, on job creation, on the economy, to saying, look, we have real issues. The guy understands the economy. He understands job creation. And we're in this for you. We're not in this for us. And we're in this for those people that are struggling and those people that have been without work. And they're 20.
All right, Ann Romney talking with our Bill Horman. Fletcher Word, let me ask you about the importance of the wives in this campaign going forward. Both very popular.